Alright, so welcome to the Jönköping County Museum. So, here is one exhibition in upper floor, and the first thing we see here is mixed media sculpture. This sculpture actually reminds me something like a bank robbery. Then the next one here, you can see it's a stone and wood sculpture. It's like a soldier with a gun. Now this one is clay sculpture of unglazed ceramics. You can see it's a lot of small people on the top. And this one is sculpture of Karama Marby, and it's basically two weird house. Now finally here you can see it's bronze sculpture, and the expression is really different. Now we see the painting. This painting is original for book cover, and the name is Soldier with Broken Rifle. This painting is called Game Box, and it's a commentary on the 1973 coup in the Chile oil painting. These sculptures are potatoes from the exhibition Potato Dreams 1993. They are bronze sculptures. Now, this painting you are looking at, it's called Presumption, and it's collage and painting. So basically, this exhibition is to create a picture of the future with the help of art history. And in the view of today's huge challenges, trying to find the right way is not easy. How can humans cope with increased living costs, pandemics, conflicts? That's a really good question. And here, this painting doesn't have a title, and it's egg and oil emulsion painting. Here we have a very interesting sculpture. It's called the Duelists, and it's wood sculpture. This painting, no title, and it's ink drawing. This photograph is called Night Vision 2, and it's color photography. The introverted person. The introverted person is enigmatically close related to the rest of us. However, she carries within her a blue sky. Now this one is Jump and Hope, made of ceramics. This one is Icarus oil painting. This is one Depopulated Village oil painting. This one is Self-Portrait color photography. Nice. Now let's check out the other exhibitions of the same museum. Now, this exhibition is called The White Salon. So basically, for this exhibition, is canon in culture is a very interesting concept. What does it mean? Who does it for? The exhibition is about this concept. So let's just check out this. Very interesting ceramics. So you can see they are played with still life, beard man, and another scene. Now we look at this painting. This painting is called Nature Morte, and I think some bread and some food. Nice. This painting is called Boy with a Blue Cap. This painting is portrait of her brother Ernest. This portrait is at a coffee table. Here are some paintings by John Bauer and their untitled sketches. This is painting the sunset. This painting is called The Violinist. This painting is Ivan with a teddy bear. This painting is Odalisk. This painting is called Model with a Hat. Very interesting photo frame. Now, this painting is called The Girl and the Lion. I actually quite like this painting because you can see the facial expression of the lion, also the girl. It seems they are actually flirting with each other. Now, this painting, the painting is called Study for Contemporary Art in the Frostburg Gallery. So the naked girl is actually studying the contemporary art. Now, this painting is called The Bullfinches. They're actually some little birds. Cutie. So, now we're going to the next exhibition. This exhibition is actually about some pixel painting.
Det jag visar här nu på Jönköping är ju lite speciellt för att den här utställningen vill jag utmana mig själv och hitta spel som jag inte kände till. Det finns hur mycket som helst. Det finns jättemycket som hade sett utanför.
What happens in the encounter between the endless possibility of needle points in the magic ability of video games to transport us to another world? The answer are found in the works of the artist Per Fager's and his unique artistic expressions. The exhibition of soft pixels shown in Jönköping County Museum includes colorful embroideries with motifs from well-known retro games such as Zelda, Mega Man, The Kid Icarus, as well as more unfamiliar games from Japan. The exhibition's soft pixels are selected from personal memories linked to gaming experience. The works in the exhibitions are all created for a variety of methods and materials, displaying a diversity of techniques and structures. At the Jönköping County Museum, several completely new works are displayed with motifs from obscure games, where the focus is on color, composition, and technical variation. Images that flicker fleetingly past in the video game are given a new focus and become permanent through Per Fager's art. The embroiled fantasy landscape and game heroes move a traditional craft into the realm of contemporary art. About the artist. The artist works in a classic field in embroidery, using motifs from games in his pictures. Both his interest in crafts and his fashion with the video games have been present since childhood. Then, as a student, he started to do the needlepoint picture. Now let's visit the next exhibition, Normstrom. Normstrom is a project that aims to make visible, problematize and question norms. The project offers young people a creative forum to reflect on norms with their own perspectives. Based on young people's creativity and thoughts, projects such as Normstrom presents opportunities for critical norm system we otherwise take for granted. In some cultures, there are some normals which we expect people to do it, and people need to study for the cultures. Where are the youth going? Many young people today in societies are working a lot towards the social media. They feeling, express themselves. Energetics, energy drinks, snooze and other stuff are very popular in the social media. And they let the kids to be what they are expected that way. There is a very strong trend in society about what the boys should wear on themselves, and it's very difficult to change the expectations. In our society, it's very sad for that way happens conflict and inside out. Brain a fork when we are sucked into social media. Now, let's go to the next exhibition. Challenge in time. A restless child soul. A Miling is a child that has been secretly killed and hidden without baptized. Without a name, the evil or evil spirits will take possession in the child's body and transform it into a Miling. A Miling could show up when you least suspect it. Fatal gossip. People gossiped and said bad things about Yiling, so bad she was taken to a court, accused of witchcraft. Yiling had gone through the water ordeal. She survived and was freed, but then accused she didn't stop. She was once again brought to the court, and at the point, Yiling confessed, not being a witch, but having murdered her husband. Yiling was sentenced to death and executed. Who is a witch? Witch tests were used to prove that the accused was guilty of witchcraft. The most well-known method was water ordeal. The suspected witch was tied up and thrown into the water. If they sunk, she was innocent. If she floated, she was guilty. Eric Leonard Ekman, the adventurous scientist. Eric loved plants and wanted to become a botanist. Most of all, she loved to express and dry plants in his collection. Therefore, he eventually went abroad. With many years, he lived a hard life in the West Indies. He collected many species and discovered many new plants. An uncommon grave. Finally, everything was in place. Around the grave, 3 stones in circles, and one with sandstone steps close together, with all necessary images carved, it depicting a gods, brave people, and the passage of time. For a long time, the memory of the grave in the mountain lived in. By the end, it was all forgotten. The Lost Child. The crane in the wall of Brimford Church. A box was found in 1992. It contained the bone remains of a small fetus wrapped in a child's shirt. It was soon discovered that the bones were 200 years old. In the old days, it was not allowed to bury stillborn babies. Many burials therefore took place in secret. Parents put the child in a small box, or in case in a church or graveyard. A woman who opened fire. Hannah wanted to make a difference. Within her burned a faith in God. She saw humans need help. They need to worry about Hannah's God. She asked the Salvation Army Sweden to help destitute people. Here is a story about Sophie Sager. Sophie embarked on the steamship that took her to Stockholm on 1848. After attempted rape, she shocked her first time by describing the assault in her own words. She recounted in court and in newspapers. Carolyn Mack. Carolyn's wish is that everyone will feel accepted, whether your body or ethnicity. On her Instagram account, Kathleen published pictures of herself from different angles and perspectives. She wants to show that she really looks like. Skeleton. In the mid-1980s, a medieval cemetery was discovered beneath pavement in West Jönköping. During the excavations, the skeletal remains of a teenager were found, with clear signs of severe disability. The lower jaw was connected to the collarbone. The teeth revealed the girl had never chewed any food, but someone had provided smashed liquid nourishment. And when the girl died, she was buried in cemetery among the others, loved and missed. Before the law, Samuel was a judge at Court of Appeal. In Jönköping, one of his colleagues was working on an inheritance dispute case. With the letter, Samuel offered the colleague 100 risk dealer. Give me the right to vote. Gerda was convinced all women should have the right to vote. She became the first woman to be elected in Husqvarna Town Council. She was allowed to vote in the first time. The fight was won. The dead end. Climate disaster. The ash from two volcanic eruptions obscured the sun completely. For a long time, it was total night, and many years without sun and summer warmth. During this period, a plague and other illness came in from Europe. Plants, animals, and half of the population in northern hemisphere died. For centuries, the area bits were totally deserted. We are the descendants of those who, despite everything, survived the extreme weather events. Gold from enemy. The medallion is around 1,600 years old and depicts a ruler on horseback in front of a defeated enemy. Stone churches for all. In the 12th century, Christianity was new in Sweden. Giese was the first bishop from our country. He was determined that churches should grow and become powerful. When the cathedral alone was inaugurated, Giese was there and so impressed that he immediately wanted to build such a church at home. Anna Margareta Cruz, the woman behind it all. Anna loved everything beautiful about design, architecture, and home decor. Fortunately, she also loved rich men, which made it possible for her to build the most handsome manor it had ever seen in Jönköping County, though she had to marry 3 times before her house was finished, and then she moved into the Hurley Manor. At least, there were some rooms for the parties and big fest. She loved lavishing her guests, at least fashions, for example, hot cocoas. Negra's family fled from the war. Sweden was meant to be a safe place. But at school, Negra encountered nationalism and skinheads. On the first day of school, her locker was covered with racist stickers. Go home and leave Sweden. 5 years later, school was finally over. She moved from Husqvarna to become a journalist. Lisa Oberg, when away becomes home. She got in the train to Maryland, 1896. Her bag was packed with Swedish coffee and the Bible. 3 months later, she arrived to China. There, she started her life as missionary. She was sent to the north straightway, and she sang, preached, and was sometimes called a foreign eagle. 3 years later, she married Otto. They opened an orphanage for abandoned girls and a school. Margareta Peterson. The smell during the whole her life, Margareta remembered smell burned bones as she was left out in the train carriage at Schultz, the concentration camp. She had been taken was like a huge factory where people were killed and burned. Her head was shaved and she was forced to stay in nightmare, violence, starvation and sickness. When the war ended, the British liberated the prisoners in the camp. She was sent to Sweden. She met her husband at 12 World People's Park. She spent the rest of her life in Barnamo. The first human in Jönköping County. As it's slowly getting warmer, the ice retreated. Meltwater created a giant lake, and the waterways provide the route to the country, the hunter settlements. Aidan Grönhagen has trip. He was probably excited about making a trip to the spa. Aidan hoped to be stronger by drinking special iron-rich water, which was something of an enemy drink at the time. But he was a military man. During his visit, he also helped check regulations and some jobs in the park. Is an e-sport daughter. He traveled the world with his team Godsend. A team consists of 5 players. They train together every day, both gaming and at the gym. The philosophy is looking good, feel good, play good. He discovered his talent for playing games a long time ago at the secondary school. He decided to try to become a professional player and within the sports and a lot of competition and stuff. Dream for better life. It went good for Sweden. Sweden was doing well. Industry was carrying out for labor. At the same time, unemployment was high in Finland. Instead of being jobless, many Finns went to Sweden, and they only planned to stay for a short while. But life went on and influenced decisions. Some got married, others got children. The move back home was postponed. The years went by. In the end, Sweden became home. Finland became the country one visited now and then. Football is life. Even football has been played for more than 2,400 years. The sport only started in Sweden 130 years ago. For men, the first female team was formed 20 years later. But ladies football met a lot of resistance. Girls had to wait until 1988 for Swedish Women's National League. But he created a stone. On the stone, he engraved his father's name, Henkel. But that was not enough. Names of his grandfather and other 3 ancestors were included on the stone. Surely nobody could say that the land was not his, belonged to his family at least. Barbara Gustafsson. The sisters Barbara and Birgitta are travelers. They had lived in Jönköping all their lives, but it has been tough. They have been called for gypsies, refused job, become recognized in society.